Hello again. This time what I wanted to show you was how to take a colorful picture and do something that's pretty popular. Picasa calls it a focal black and white. Basically what you get is a black and white picture with just a couple or a single color element in it. It's pretty simple to do. I'll show you real quick here. I've opened up one image. It's got a bunch of colorful rocks that I took. Um, and what I'm going to do first, of course, is duplicate my layer. And that, of course, is just by going down here, dragging it to the new layer, and dragging it to the new layer. There we go. And so that way I've got the background, the original image back there. I can play around with this layer, and if I make a mistake I can always delete it and just go right back to the original. Now what we're going to do, rather than desaturate this, one way you can do it is desaturate this layer and then just put a layer mask on it and just color out the parts that you want to be color. If you desaturate this, it'll be black and white, and through the layer mask that's on it, you can achieve the same effect. But what I found was actually a pretty slick way of doing this. What you use is this little icon down here that creates a new fill or adjustment layer. And you have different elements that you can control, levels, curves, color, balance, things like that, that will affect all the layers. Now what I want to do with this one is use the black and white. And what that does is it turns your picture black and white, desaturates it, but also brings up this box. And you notice you have all your colors in here. And I'd recommend doing this with any picture that you want to make black and white. I'd recommend doing it this way because you'll see in a second that by sliding these around, these colors, what you do is affect the original image, and it gives you a lot more contrast. It makes the black and white image stand out a lot more when you use this technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way and I'll let you look at the picture itself as I move the sliders around. If this thing decides to cooperate, we'll be able to do that. There we go. Now, by doing that, I've actually moved the red slider all the way over. So I'm going to move the reds up. And so anything that was red in the original image, you'll see will change. The little guys on these pictures are actually blue. So you notice as I change the blue, make those lighter or darker. And I can change greens, not much change there. Yellows, because of the light, that changes quite a bit. So I'm just going to change this to a point where I'm comfortable with it. Get some nice contrast there. And that looks good. So I'll click OK on that dialog. Now another thing that's kind of cool about this, and it's not real obvious in a lot of in the Photoshop documentation, is if you want this layer just to affect this image or this layer, what you'll want to do, you can click on there and you want to hold the Alt key, and as you move it you'll see it change into this weird shape, and what that'll do is attach it right to that layer. So now this layer is affecting that layer, and you'll notice it has its own mask on it. So what we're going to do is basically what I had mentioned before, is we're going to paint on this mask with a black color, and what it will do is just go through there, and then it'll bring the color from this image out. Or actually what it's going to do is, this is still in color, the black and white layer is affecting this layer, and this mask will remove the black and white and show the color underneath. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is, with that mask selected, I'm just going to go over, grab a brush, And what I want to do is make sure that I have black as my foreground color. If it's not, just click on the little icon and get it by clicking on this. You can switch it to the front and make sure that it is definitely black. So with a brush selected, I'm gonna go over to the picture here and of course use the middle one. That's probably the best. Also, I want to point out you want to use a brush, one of these soft edge brushes, and notice you can adjust the opacity and the flow, and that will, if you have this all the way up, it makes the edges a little too rough. It makes it hard to paint on it. So turn these down a little bit. Just play around with them until you feel comfortable with it. You'll see the effects as you try each one. So now I'm just going to start painting on this top rock. See the color come out. And zoom in on it. Okay. So I got that one. Let's do this one. And I'm not being real careful since I don't have a lot of time on these videos. But you're getting the idea of how to do it. And what you can do is turn off this layer and see which rocks, and click on the little eye next to the layer and see which rocks have the most color. Like the one in the bottom right seems to have a lot of color. So why don't we bring that one out? And you can see where you can use this. The real popular one is with the bouquet of flowers and have the one flower sticking out. And let's get this rock just for some variety. But the main thing is that you get the idea of how you want to do this. And again, you can use this for just a regular black and white picture, or you can do this type of effect. And you can play around with the colors and even make them brighter and make them stick out a little more. You can use the same menu and pick out things like brightness and contrast and play around with the. So I'm just using, once that's open, you notice it's affecting the whole image, and I can play around with the contrast and change different things there. So there you have it. There's a real simple way to get this type of effect, real popular, and hope it helps you. Thanks.